Krillin says, "Why did you do that, Piccolo?" Tenshinhan, Dende modify the time room so that day on Earth becomes 10 years inside the time room. Not only that, I modify the room so that no one can leave like Majin Buu and Goten did in case something bad happens again. Piccolo locked Goku to his fate. Had no way out. Piccolo says, "Shut up. You should thank me. Krillin, you of all people know what Frieza is capable of. Goku just wanted to see how far Frieza could go and then fight him. You all know Goku. I can't let their whims destroy the world. Whatever has to happen inside that room will happen. I'll go get the Dragon Spheres to get Goku out of the room. The next day, while they will have to fix their problem inside." Dende says, "That's a very good idea, Mr. Piccolo." On the planet of Beerus. Beerus would find himself eating pizza in the middle of his workout. Whis says, "That was it? He trained for a few minutes and started eating pizza?" Beerus replies, "I can't keep training on an empty stomach." Whis would bow his head in disappointment. Garo would say, "Hello, Beerus." Whis would say, "Mr. Beerus." Beerus would say, "But look who we have here." "Good afternoon, Mr. Whis. I'm glad to see you again." Whis would be surprised. "Good afternoon. I'm glad to see you too." "What is the education? Who do you want to fool?" "What's wrong? I just came to visit them." "Just as you visited Champa and then beat him up?" Garo says, "Vados asked me many times to be the god of destroyer of the Universe 6. As I refused, now that position belongs to Champa. I just wanted to test his power." Beerus would get nervous and say, "I understand that a large majority of angels proposed you to be a destructive god, but you rejected everyone." Garo says, "It's true, I rejected them because I don't want to be a dog of Daishinkan and Zeno-sama like you are." Beerus would begin to get angry at Garo's words. "Then why are you wearing those clothes?" "An angel gave it to me to consider being a god destroyer. Clearly I refused, but I really like these clothes, and I kept them." Beerus says, "Then tell me, what purpose do you have in this universe?" "I want to meet Goku, the warrior who led your universe to victory in the Tournament of Power." In the same moment, Vegeta arrives where Beerus and the others are. Vegeta says, "Mr. Beerus, I was able to master that power." Beerus says, "Seriously? Let's see if it's true." Beerus throws a stone in the air. Vegeta disintegrates the stone using destructive force. Vegeta says, "Good afternoon. I imagine you are a guest of Mr. Beerus. Judging by your attire, might say that you are a destructive god." Beerus says, "He's not a destructive god. He simply wears one's clothes." Garo says, "I feel a divine power within you. How is that possible?" Whis says, "Mr. Vegeta was one of the participants in the Tournament of Power. Now he is a pupil of Lord Beerus, and he is gradually attaching himself to divinity. I feel a powerful presence. He has a ki as great as Lord Beerus himself." Garo says, "Mortal, face me. I want to see how strong are the warriors of Universe 7. Whis says, "This would be a great opportunity for you to test your new Vegeta powers." Vegeta says, "It's true. I was thinking of going to Earth and facing Kakarot, but this is also a very good opportunity. Mr. Garo, I accept this fight." Beerus would only ignore the moment. Vegeta uses Super Saiyan. Vegeta says, "Very well. I will start fighting." Whis says, "Mr. Vegeta, do not even think of underestimating Mr. Garo. Using the normal Super Saiyan would cost you dearly." Vegeta would get nervous and say, "In that case..." Vegeta uses blue transformation. Vegeta throws himself to hit Garo, but he fails to connect a single blow. Garo says, "I must admit that in order not to be a god, you are something strong, but you still have a long way to go." Garo would use a single finger to hit Vegeta. He falls to the floor in an unconscious base form. Garo says, "I expected something better from this subject being the disciple of Beerus." Beerus says, "This idiot trusted himself and did not use the new transformation I taught him." Garo says, "A defeat is a defeat." Suddenly, Garo would notice a strange smell that would look at a large number of boxes on the floor. Garo approaches, opening one of the boxes and says, "What is this?" This comes in a square box, in the form of a circle with triangle portions. Whis says, "That's pizza. Food belonging to this universe, located on planet Earth." Garo says, "Can I try it?" Beerus would smile. "These are some of the benefits of being a destructive god. Go ahead and try it. Just be careful. You could die for its great taste." Garo says, "Don't say stupid things." Garo tries the pizza. Garo would get a huge explosion of mixed flavors and feelings. "Not bad at all. That is just one of the many dishes that exist on planet Earth. Garo, hearing that, would ask Whis to take him to Earth so he could taste all the delicious food that exists in the place. Whis, of course, after all, you are a great friend of Mr. Beerus from childhood. Time room. Goku would say, "Curse this time, Piccolo. Did go over the line." Frieza would put on a face of displeasure and say, "Your stupid green friend destroyed the entrance of this place. Imagine there is some way out." Goku says, "There is no way out that door. It is the only thing that connects to this dimension." Frieza says, "I refuse to be here with you. I'll find a way out." Goku says, "I already told you that there is no other way out. If you go too far away, you could get lost. In this place, there are no limits. Getting lost is like signing your death sentence." Frieza says, "Damn, Namekian. I swear that when I leave this place, I will kill him." Goku says, "Calm down. Surely they will find a way to get us out of here. Maybe they look for the dragon spheres." Frieza says, "While they do that, it can spend a lot of time here inside. I refuse to be locked up here with you." Frieza would gradually move away. Goku would say, "You're stubborn. You get lost if you move away." Frieza says, "Lose me. Remember who you're talking to. I've traveled much worse dimensions than this." Frieza disappears from the view of Goku and says, "I think it will be possible to get along with Frieza." Curse. When I leave here, I will teach Piccolo a lesson. They would spend several hours inside the room. Goku would say that Frieza is a fool, sure to be lost. Well, I will not waste time and I will start training. Now at Capsule Corporation. Bulma would find herself brewing a small party celebrating Trunks' birthday. Bulma would only be waiting for the guests, when suddenly Whis appears with Beerus. Bulma would quickly become aware of Garo's presence. Whis would say, "Good afternoon, Miss Bulma." "Oh, hello, Mr. Whis. I want to ask you something." "Ask me something?" "That's right. But before that, lead Vegeta to recover." Whis with his staff makes Vegeta appear fainted. Bulma would be surprised at what Whis would reassure her by telling her that she fainted from training. Bulma takes Vegeta to bed, quickly returning with the deities, and says, "I see they brought a special friend. Who is he?" Garo says, "Good afternoon, miss. My name is Garo. I am an old friend of Beerus. We come here to try the delicious food they prepare on this planet. It is as you hear, it is that we came as a favor to ask you." Bulma replies, "Fence, but the education. Although he looks very much like Mr. Beerus, his education is higher." Beerus says, "How dare you say that?" Garo says, "Ha ha ha. In that you are right. And not only in that, I'm also superior in all aspects." Bulma says, "What? Then you're stronger than Mr. Beerus?" Whis says, "Ha ha ha. When they were just kids and playing wrestling, Garo always came out on top." To which Beerus replied, "At that time we were just kids. My current power has nothing to do with what it was back then." Garo, seriously staring at Beerus, would say, "How about we face each other in a fight and see once and for all who is stronger?" Beerus would say, "It is clear that I am going to be a winner. Let me tell you that I am not as weak as Champa." Beerus and Garo would raise their power. Bulma would get frightened by the intense aura. Bulma immediately runs out of the place, returning with dishes of pudding. Bulma says, "Look what I have for you. Don't fight. Today's my son Trunks' birthday, so there's a lot of food." Beerus and Garo would notice the rich aroma. Garo would say, "This looks delicious. What do you say it is?" Beerus would say, "It's called pudding. It's one of my favorite dishes." They were almost about to fight, and now they're eating from the same plate. They seem not to get along so badly at the end of everything. Bulma would realize that she would have to keep an eye on Beerus and Garo at all times. "I have to prepare the biggest feast of food for these two, otherwise planet Earth could be harmed." In the time room, Goku would say, "I've tried to open a dimension as Goten and Trunks had done when they were locked with Majin Buu, but it is impossible. Apparently Dende also modified the room so that no one can leave as the children did. I imagine Frieza really got lost. It's been a few weeks and still doesn't come back. I'll continue trading." Suddenly Frieza appears. Goku says, "For a moment I thought you were lost." Frieza says, "It is as you said. This dimension has no limits. I have not found any way out." Goku says, "I told you, but you're stubborn." Frieza would be upset and say, "Damn, I will have to live with you until I get out of here." Goku says, "Frieza, I know you don't like me, but while we are locked in this place, we should help each other to train and overcome our limits. I imagine you want to become stronger to overcome my Ultra Instinct power, or am I wrong?" "Coldness, something annoying, I would say." Frieza would continue, "Okay, this time you'll be my training partner, but I warn you something. Once I leave this room, this truce will end." 5 years would pass quickly inside the time room. Goku would be fighting Frieza in his incomplete Ultra Instinct form. Goku would say, "I'm amazed how your golden form is able to cope with the Ultra Instinct. You've become very strong." Frieza laughs evilly. You haven't seen anything yet. Frieza hits Goku, knocking him unconscious in his base form. The story would begin in Frieza's ship. Frieza would say, "Damn, that stupid Goku completely overcame my powers using the transformation called Ultra Instinct. If I stay with my arms crossed, maybe even Vegeta's dwarf will surpass me." To which one of Frieza's soldiers commented, "Mr. Frieza, if those Saiyans continue to increase their power, you will never be able to fulfill their vengeance." Now Frieza got angry. This would charge energy on his finger pointed at the soldier. "Do you think I don't know that, soldier? Better close your mouth if you don't want me to kill you." The very frightened soldier would say, "Mr. Frieza, please don't hurt me. I just want to give you some advice." "A tip? What advice can someone as weak as you give me?" The soldier, trembling with fear, would say, "Lord, you're a prodigy of fights in just 4 months. I reached a great power that took them years. What it did in years, you did in a few months. Imagine the power you can get if you train for at least 5 years. I'm sure you could even surpass the destructive god Beerus." Frieza would lower his hand, disappearing his energy charge. "I see you are a smart soldier. Your mouth is full of reason. Although 5 years is a long time, it will be worth it." "Sir, did I just come to you to say that?" "Do you have anything else interesting to tell me?" Soldado would say, "Lord, I learned that on planet Earth, precisely where these Saiyans live, there is a special room." "Special room? What are you talking about?" "I think they call it the Time Room. It's a place where time passes much faster. 1 day in human time equals a year inside that place. You could get a lot out of that room." Frieza would say, "Interesting. I remember seeing or hearing something similar when he was dead, and Majin Buu threatened to destroy the world. Tell me something, soldier. How did someone like you know of all this information?" The soldier would get nervous and say, "I have an acquaintance who is friends with those Saiyans. He gave me all the information." "I see. And tell me about this friend of yours. Does he know that you work for me, Lord Frieza?" "I think not, sir." "Very interesting. Soldiers like you are the ones I need. Although if I go to the planet where Goku and the others are, it is most likely that a great scandal will be made." After Frieza thought everything calmly, he would decide to go. Well, he was also one of the participants of the Force Tournament who led to victory in Universe 7. Soldier would say, "Very well. We will participate everything to reach that planet." At the very moment, the entire planet of Beerus would be shaking heavily. Whis would say, "Mr. Beerus, training? What happened, Mr. Beerus? Has he hit himself or something?" Beerus would say, "Don't bother me, Whis. I just want to become stronger." Whis would say, "Lord, tell me what is happening. For a few days ago, you have been behaving strangely." Beerus would say, "Garo Volvio." Whis would say, "Talk about the guy who's always beat you in fights since you were a kid." Beerus would say, "That's right. Champa told me. Garo arrived on the planet of Champa, and he challenged him to a fight. Champa was defeated. It is more than obvious that this guy will also come to challenge me." Whis would say, "I see. That's why you've been training." Beerus would say, "That is not the only reason." Whis would reply, "Is there any other reason?" "I can't let Goku and Vegeta surpass my powers. Goku reached Ultra Instinct. I realized that I can't stay behind. Imagine what would happen if those two were revealed to me when they found out from Frieza that I was the one who ordered the end of the Saiyan race. I don't want to kill Goku or Vegeta. They could serve me if something like the Tournament of Power is repeated. So if I see Frieza again, I will destroy him." Meanwhile, on planet Earth, Goku would say, "Damn, after the tournament, I have not used the transformation of Ultra Instinct again. I wonder, how can I use that power again?" Chi-Chi would say, "Something happened, Goku?" "It's nothing, Chi-Chi." "I see. You're very stressed. Is it because you haven't trained all this week to spend time with your family?" "Not that, Chi-Chi." Chi-Chi smiles and says, "Goku, come to sleep with me and Goten. They've already fallen asleep. It would pass the whole night very quickly." Goku wakes up. Chi-Chi would have a great breakfast ready for Goku. Goku would say, "Whoa, you went out of the way for this Chi-Chi breakfast." Chi-Chi would say, "That's what the strongest man in the world deserves." Goku would say, "The strongest? No, I'm not the strongest. There are many warriors who would easily surpass me." Goten would say, "If like Mr. Beerus, no one can against him." "It is true that Mr. Beerus is very strong. Even if he used all my power, or could use Ultra Instinct, I'm not sure I can beat him." "Then after eating that delicious breakfast I made for you, will you immediately go to train? I won't be happy until I know I'm married to the strongest man in the world." Goku would smile and say, "Very well. After this meal, I'll go to train with Vegeta." Goten would say, "Father, I learned that Dende modified the time room." Goku would say, "Dende modified the time room?" "That's right. Now 1 day on Earth is equivalent to 10 years inside the room." "That's impressive. Then I will go with Vegeta to try the new modifications on the room." Goku, after eating breakfast, flies in the direction in the Capsule Corporation. Bulma would say, "Hello, Goku. I imagine you're looking for Vegeta." "That's right. I just found out that they modified the time room to be able to train longer. I wanted to ask Vegeta if he wanted to train with me." "I'm sorry to tell you that Vegeta is training with Mr. Whis. He left yesterday." Goku would say, "I see. It's a pity." At that very moment, Frieza's ship would be entering planet Earth. Suddenly, Goku feels a great presence. Bulma would say, "Something happens, Goku?" "It's nothing." "Then I'll go alone and try the room." Goku flies away and says, "If I'm not mistaken, this is the presence of Frieza." Dende, Krillin, Piccolo, Tenshin, Han would feel the presence. These would be in the temple next to Dende. Krillin would say, "It's Frieza." Piccolo would say, "That damn sure came to cause trouble." Tenshin would say, "I hope, and don't come up with an idea of assassinating Goku." Frieza's ship lands successfully. The soldier says, "We have arrived, Great Frieza." Frieza would say, "About time. You did not cause any scandal. Take care of the ship while I come back." The soldier would say, "Yes." Frieza disappears. Piccolo says, "Damn, what reason will you have for coming to Earth after having fought alongside us?" Frieza appears in the temple. Dende says, "It's Frieza." Frieza would say, "It's nice to see you again." Krillin would say, "Damn, you came to kill Goku?" Frieza would say, "No. At the moment, I do not have that in my plans. Calm down, I will not kill you. I just came to use that room to increase my powers." Piccolo would say, "That room?" Frieza would say, "If that place you call the time room." Goku arrives at the temple. Piccolo would say, "But if it's Goku?" "I cause them so much fear that everyone has come to receive me. I just came to use the time room and become stronger." Krillin would say, "You're not a guy to be trusted. Isn't it true, Goku?" Goku would say, "Are you coming to use the time room? When I felt your presence, I thought you were coming to look for a fight. I also came to use the time room, but you arrived first. So the fairest thing would be that you use it first." Piccolo would say, "But what are you talking about, Goku? We can't trust Frieza." "But why not, Piccolo? Remember that thanks to Frieza we won the Tournament of Strength. Besides, if he does something strange, I will stop him myself." Frieza says, "It is seen that the damage I caused to you was so great that just by seeing me, you'd think that I want to kill you. I inform you that my life does not revolve around you worms." Piccolo would be angered by Frieza's words. "I imagine that room is inside the temple." "That's right." Piccolo would say, "Goku, what do you do when Frieza becomes stronger thanks to the room and wants to kill you? Remember that Frieza is just 4 months equaled you, and Vegeta, who has trained for years." Goku would say, "Calm down, Piccolo. Won't do something like that." "True, Frieza?" Frieza would say, "I promise I won't kill them when I leave the room." "Don't lie, Frieza. We know that one of your goals is to kill Goku. You've always had great hatred towards him. So if you wanted to do it once and for all and don't pretend." "It's okay. I admit to ending Goku. That is something that I've been pending. But as I said, it's not my only goal. Also, I'm sure Goku would be liking to know my true power only if I train several years in that room. Goku would be excited." Goku would say, "In 4 months you equal my power of Super Saiyan Blue. So in a few years you could bring spectacular power." Dende would say, "If Goku is sure of it, by my Frieza can enter. It is also true that thanks to him in this universe continues to exist." Piccolo would be angry as everyone gave Frieza permission to train in the room. Goku and Dende would take Frieza to the door of the room, but the Emperor would enter. Krillin would say, "I can't imagine the terrifying power Frieza will bring when he leaves the room." Frieza would say, "I will train 10 years." Everyone is surprised. Piccolo would say, "That's a long time." Goku would say, "Leave it alone, Piccolo. He will train as long as necessary. Then he will leave the planet and continue on his way." Piccolo would say, "All of you stupid worms." Piccolo hits Goku by surprise, causing Goku to fall into the time room next to Frieza. Piccolo says, "Solutions your nonsense inside the room. We will have more than time to fix your personal problems." Piccolo would exclaim, which would close the door of the room of time. Piccolo would charge power by throwing it into the room, destroying the place completely so they can't get out.